Hey guys, we're back. Lasan Georgeson here, the host of TSX, with my colleague and friend Rebecca. We're here to talk about gin, like all things gin. We're specifically going to talk about the styles of gin. And we know that gin is all things diverse because of how it's made, and we'll talk about that. But most importantly, we're going to feature something that most of you are going to love, at least the actor. It's a celebrity, Ryan Reynolds. Such heart for that man. Okay, so this is Aviation Gin. Okay, so let's have a seat and talk about Ryan. No, we're going to talk about gin. Sorry, I got confused. So gin, what do we want to know about gin? We're talking about the styles of gin, and gin is kind of one of those crazy spirits because it's a neutral spirit that's flavored. And so anything that's gin, you know it's flavored. It's some neutral spirit, whether it's made from grains, grapes, potatoes, it doesn't matter. It's a neutral spirit that is then flavored with gin, or juniper, I should say, which makes it a gin. The thing that we might want to know as consumers of gin is that it's something that has such distinct styles. So when you say, I don't drink gin, hang on to that moment and think twice about it. You may not drink a certain style of gin because you don't like it. And often that's because it's very juniper forward, which has that pininess, and people find that somewhat repulsive. For me, I love it. Or it might be an American gin that has more botanicals forward versus the juniper berries that we get in the London Dry. Or it could be Plymouth, right? There's different styles of gin that I want you to think about when you're saying, I don't like gin. You may not like a certain style, but give it a go and try different styles. What is your opinion of the styles of gin?
I just want to add another note to that.
Yes.
The most common gin cocktail is a gin and tonic, and the quinine and tonic, a lot of people don't like.
Fair enough.
So when they think that they don't like gin, it might actually be that they don't care for tonic.
Right.
So if they try their gin in a different way.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
There are, standards and stereotypes and all sorts of things, even in the cocktail industry.
For sure. There's no question about that. But again, like gin, when we think about other spirits, it started out in medicine. Hello. Rebecca just spoke about gin and tonic. Well, it started out as a gin tonic. Of all things, it ailed kidneys and bladder and circulatory issues. That's how
Cured
gin.
malaria.
First and foremost.
Prevented.
For us, it didn't cure it. Yes.
Prevented.
So, there's just so many medicinal purposes that stemmed from gin that we forget before it became this palatable beverage that we now, most of us, love. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk more about the styles of it, but I thought that was important to mention because it kind of is a tonic to take care of ills. Mm-hmm. So I think we have an excuse to drink it. And Ryan, we love you, and we love all of aviation, so we don't need an excuse. But I do think it's pretty cool to think about that. Not too different from the other spirits.
No.
Most of them have started out as medicinal purposes.
Yeah. And I would also like to say, gin is the first flavored vodka. So when someone walks into a bar and asks for a flavored vodka, gin is the first flavored vodka. It was juniper flavored.
Boom.
And they gave it a different name.
Yeah, well, there's that to be said, because what is vodka? It's a neutral spirit, right? And so people go, you can't? Yeah, you can. Vodka is simply a neutral spirit. Now, it doesn't mean neutral is flavorless. It's neutral, right? And so there's different ways to think about neutral, but I love that you said that. Yes, exactly. It's a canvas, a clean canvas.
Speaking of which, what is our starting point tonight?
I think our starting point is going to be a different gin. We are definitely going to explore all of you, Ryan, Aviation Gin, which is an American style of gin. I think we should start out with maybe a London Dry.
A classic.
Yes, for sure. Shall we do that? Mm-hmm. And again, we're not talking names because they're not sponsored, but they're important to distinguish what makes one style different than the other. Nosing.
Well, just passing by, you smell that juniper right away.
Yeah, you don't have to stick your nose in deeply. It's hanging out. I could wear gin, quite honestly. It's a little more like my grandma, but I could wear it. It's got the scent of grandma. It's not like I want to be sexy in that. Not really. But I feel like I'd be like grandma in this.
I think you might get a comeback. You can pull it off.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Maybe that's the next thing. We'll get the mixologist to make up a damn perfume. You think Harry could do that?
I bet Harry could.
Well, gin was kind of made famous by a doctor. So maybe a mixologist can make a perfume. I don't know. Just a guess. Oh, this nose is definitely juniper. Hello, juniper. Where are the pine cones? Everywhere. Yeah. This is
It's got
interesting.
other botanicals behind it.
Does.
They're going to be hard to pick out. Right
No,
off
but
the
you're
nose.
right. I get a little like lemon peel because it has a
Mhm.
bitterness. It's not a sweetness of lime peel, but it's more of a bitterness of lemon peel. And there's definitely it's like a soft pepper. That's probably coriander, which is a herb.
Do you smell sage?
Yeah, it's a
Maybe not.
no.
No, that's not the right.
We were having a moment as what we thought we smelled. No, but I do get a bit of rosemary. I get a
Yeah,
herbal
oh, that's the
quality.
one.
Yeah. It's a sweeter one than sage is more savory. But yeah, no,
The trouble with your palate is you can't pick out a smell or a taste unless you've ever had it.
right, fair
So
enough.
if you've never had rosemary, you have no idea what it tastes like.
Fair enough.
You can't pick it
Or
out.
if you don't remember when you had it, what it smelled like, you're like, oh yeah, I did have that. But then it's like, I don't remember when that was or what that was. Fair enough. But see, I'm one of those people that remembers scents. So it's once I've smelled it, it's stuck. I can't forget
You
it.
spent years smelling and tasting things so that you can pick them out.
Yeah. So it's exercise of that
Mhm.
sensory. But okay, so we've nosed it. We agree. There's a lot of intrigue. But juniper, hello, juniper. It's there.
To the
Cheers.
juniper.
To the juniper. Okay, let's taste it. So this is London Dry. This is classic London Dry.
Mhm.
And I'm a London Dry fan, so you won't like it if you don't like it. I love this. This is a
Fantastic.
classic traditional London Dry gin
Tingle
style.
on the front of the tongue.
Yes, it's a zest.
Yeah,
it's
right on the front.
ooh.
Ugh.
And it hangs out in the mid palate, and I think
Mhm.
that's more the white pepper from the coriander. I could guess what the botanicals are, but again, the styles of gin is so diverse because the selection of botanicals that one can use in producing gin is crazy. American gin is a prime example of like, what am I tasting? Is awesome, but I don't know. You can't really decipher and put your hand right on that. But with London Dry style, you generally can decipher it. Juniper, hello. But this is a little more intriguing. This is gorgeous.
This is
enjoy
a classic style.
I would
It-
agree.
If you drank gin one time 20 years ago, this would have been the style
Mhm.
that you had. And there might have been other styles on the market, but
For
this
sure.
was the prominent, the London Dry.
For sure. And this was made famous, again, that pharmacist I talked about is a London Dry style that created and made it popular, I should say. And it really is, I think what makes London Dry so intriguing and classic is that it's got a crispness, almost a minerality. So it's really dry on the palate. It's got that sort of licorice menthol effect because of the juniper, right?
Mhm.
And it has just that dryness. It's like when you think about a wine that dries, it's like very little sugar. This is gorgeous. It's ideal for tonic.
Mhm.
It really is. It's yummy. I'd say yay. It's not the one we're featuring, but give London Dry a try. And the reason I chose this, it is a classic. It's from England. Go do some research and check it out. Okay.
Can you be a London Dry and not from England?
You sure can, because it's not geographically
It's not
indicated.
Mhm.
Not at all. And people do get confused by that.
Well, it's unless you're in this industry and people call all bubbles champagne,
Right, fair enough.
whereas champagne has to be from a region. That's why I
Absolutely.
asked.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
And a great point. But nope, doesn't have to be from London.
have to be from
It's
London.
not London,
Doesn't
London
even have to
Dry.
be from England.
No, but this one is from England. And so do some research and go discover it because it's outrageously perfect. Okay. Should we go to the next one?
Yes.
Should we give it a go?
Is this our aviation?
Oh, I'm sensing a halo overhead. And I say that to you because I've tried aviation gin and I've tried it and I've tried to not like it because it's like yet another celebrity dram, seriously. But oh my God. Canada, I think you got some heart for America.
Oh,
That's what I'm thinking. Ryan, you figured us out. This is a perfect investment. It is amazing. Okay, let's give it a smell.
I mean,
Completely different.
Yes, you can smell the juniper, but it's not so punch you in the face juniper.
Not
It's
at all.
Subtle, and
Yes.
there's definitely more.
There's way more. I get the more than I get the juniper. So the secondary nose profile is popping for me. Like I definitely get a bit of white pepper. So this is spice on this one. I'm going to guess coriander is a large part of their botanicals.
Mhm.
I'm going to guess there's some orris root because I get floral notes.
Can't back you up on that. I don't know Aura's root.
Okay, fine. But that's what you should be getting. and even a bit of Angelica. I can't bet it, but there's just so much intrigue to this American style gin. It's crazy. It's wonderful on the nose. I even get a little bit of citrus peel, but it's more lime versus lemon.
Yes.
Where the London Dry was a bitter peel, this is a sweeter peel. So yeah, we need to taste this. This is kind of inviting.
Cheers
Don't you
to
want
aviation.
this? Cheers to aviation. Cheers to you, Ryan Reynolds. Ha. This is seriously gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Guys,
It
this is a
opens up.
gorgeous gin. And it's still happening. It's still talking to my palate. It's one of those.
It's like opening up inside
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, it's
a lot more floral on the
palate
taste than yeah.
was on the nose.
Mhm.
So it's confirmed, the floral notes. And the white pepper is more on the inhale, almost as a mint versus pepper.
Yeah.
It's got that menthol effect. This is really seductive. Golly.
Ooh.
And it's so Ryan Reynolds. Hello. Oh my. This is truly
I think you
seductive.
might be projecting, Ryan.
No, I'm really not. I'm not crushing at all, but you got to admit, and it's got this
It's beautiful.
gorgeous weight, almost muscular,
Mhm.
a little bit. I'm digging this, but I've had it many times, and I do
I
dig
have
it.
as well. It's a great gin.
It truly is. This needs no
This should be in every home bar.
concoction. I agree. This is like delightful, and it's fascinating because the story is about this Canadian Ryan Reynolds, who fell in love with it, tasting it, and decided he wanted to be a part of aviation gin that's been around way before Ryan Reynolds decided to get involved. And good on him because he made a proper investment. I believe his input may be more around design, but his palate is spot on to have detected this. Yeah, you own this all the way, Ryan. That's a clever investment. My goodness.
Is it
Dang.
gin also produced in Canada?
No, it's an American
It is an
gin.
American gin.
Yes. He left things as it was, and I'm
It's a
impressed
great
with you,
spirit.
Ryan Reynolds.
Mhm.
It is fantastic. Cheers to Ryan. Yes and yes. This is awesome. You got to give this one a try. Even if you like juniper forward, this has enough juniper in the background so that you don't forget it's a gin, but it's not overwhelming of juniper. This is really balanced. I love it.
Not a lot of gins do I want to drink straight,
Right.
but that's a nice one that you could sip on all evening,
Yeah, I could
especially a beautiful evening.
truly.
Mhm.
I'm digging all over that. Well done,
Where are we going
Mr.
next?
Reynolds. Yeah. I think we need to
America.
yes. I think we might want to stay in London, maybe. Let's just check out a different style. So we're going to go with Plymouth. Plymouth is a style of gin, crazy enough, and it is a city in the UK, not too far from London, and it is something that's making a comeback of late because it lost its appeal, with lots of things during Prohibition, at least in the US. And I think it's making an interesting comeback. You've got different distilleries making it, and this again, it's fantastic. It's Plymouth gin, and it has what it's
Plymouth
known
style.
for. Yes, and it's actually Plymouth gin is what it's called. Oh, this nose is completely different.
Mhm.
Now this
These
is
are similar. The first one.
well, this one automatically has a weight. It has the last one has it's almost like a magnet of information coming up, where the other one's quick, easy information. Yeah, this has you can almost sense there's weight to this. It has heft. Way more information. So this one definitely has more bark. I get an earthiness to it. I get a bit of citrus peel, and I would call this one more lemon again, bitter. Even grapefruit. I would consider this one hint of
Ours is far
sweetness.
superior to mine.
Well, no, it's just, my
it
nose
is.
is fishing for stuff because it's so much information coming out at me. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, but you're saying a lot. So it stops and makes me think about it. This one is way more complex to decipher, but there's lots coming out. The nose is definitely a heavier, beefier nose. It's like, whoa,
Mhm.
it's at you. I think we need to try it.
Yep.
Okay, let's go for it.
Mm.
Wow. So this is Plymouth all the way. What you get, the juniper has not been lost.
No.
Here's the thing about Plymouth style gin. The weight of it deceives you on the palate and the nose. So the juniper only hits you like a punch on the end. You don't notice it initially. It just sort of claws its way in your palate and starts storming juniper, juniper. You're like, okay, you win, juniper. Yes, juniper. But you don't catch it at first. It's a subtlety that just like hits you
We're
after.
going to compare the two from England.
Yeah.
I feel like the London Dry was more floral, and the Plymouth style is more earthy.
For sure, more earthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And weight. It's almost a
Oh, yes.
creaminess. And you can even detect it. You can't tell with the lighting, but there's a weight that tells you this is a much more, that's a weightier gin. This would hold up nicely in a cocktail
Yes.
because the juniper is lagging. It's not punching you
in a
into the
cocktail
end.
with multiple ingredients.
Yes.
It wouldn't just have to be.
No, simple as a gin and tonic. This one could easily, yeah, there's so many cocktails you can make with Plymouth. So if you haven't tried the Plymouth style gin, I say go for it. If you want weight, you want heft, you want a little interest. But if you want balance, harmony, seduction, that's Aviation. It's Aviation all the way. It's an American gin and it is so badass. It is glorious. Cheers to Ryan Reynolds. This is outrageous. Yes?
Yes.
Cheers.